Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. S.J. Poor here at Little Face Brewing, all amongst his brewing stuff. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Love being surrounded by brewing things, grains and equipment and fermenters. Today's Homebrew Wednesday, I want to touch on fermentation temperatures. What I'm doing right here, actually, we'll step back a little bit. And the beer that's in this primary right here is actually a beer that brewed down at Laramie 22's just this past Friday. We went down for the weekend, had a wonderful time hanging out with Laramie 22 and his wife and drinking wonderful beers at Black Dog Saloon with the whole Columbus Ave crew and all you guys. Sorry I missed some of you. Bo, shout out to you. We missed you, but we'll catch you the next time. Cheers to all those in Virginia. Cheers. I'm actually drinking on Bailey's Brown. Oh, it's a nice brown ale. So back to fermentation temperatures. It's one of the things that I'm trying to, one of the two main things that I'm going to start paying a little bit more attention to. I've always just fermented down here in this basement. It's always, the basement runs anywhere between 68 and 72 degrees, and it stays that way all the time, which is a pretty decent fermentation temperature, right? Yeah, it is. However, I overlooked, as many homebrewers do, the heat that the yeast makes when it starts off its fermentation. Its first couple days of activity is usually quite volatile, and it creates its own temperature. So what I've started doing is putting these strips on all of my fermenters. Now these are brewing strips. I actually have these available. We sold them at the store. I still have a bunch that we'll continue to sell. This is an easy one to get out to folks. Then I put these, they're self-adhesive, and they go right onto the fermenter. So I have one on this fermenter, and that way you can actually gauge the temperature on the side of these. There you go. You can see all the numbers. There you go. That way you can see what the temperature is while it's fermenting. So I started checking these, and I was like, whoa, I had a couple beers that shot up to damn near 80-82 degrees. And I had a couple beers that were kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, harsh or hard. It's almost like that, extreme temperature from when the beginning of the primary fermentation took off may have stressed that yeast a little bit and gave off some harsh flavors. Not exactly what I want. So I've started doing a bath. So what you see here is what's known as a Busboy. I use these for cleaning and sanitation when I'm doing my brew days and whatnot. But they also come in quite handy for trying to control your fermentation. So what I've done was I just put in a little better, well, initially I put in about half, a little better than half of what this thing holds. I'll bring it out here, and then I set my fermenter down in it of water. And depending on how hot this actually is, right now we are at just under 72 degrees. I'll throw some ice packs in there. And those ice packs, as you can see right there, those ice packs will keep that water temperature down, and it'll even out your fermentation of what's going on inside that fermenter. So right now, this is about a perfect fermentation this is SO4, that's fermenting out MM's beer, and we're controlling that by keeping it in cool water. So that really helps control your fermentation temperatures. A simple Busboy and some tap water and a few ice packs. Does the trick. Does it quite nicely. I had one here that she was cooking along pretty good, and I had to slow it down. I had to slow it down for a couple days. It's actually sitting right there. It's a double IPA that I'll be transferring over into secondary here soon. So this one smells fantastic. Oh, I'm not sure if they got footage or not on their brew day, but it's working out quite well. You can see the bubble when I touch the top. She's cooking along pretty well. If you didn't know about fermentation temperatures, again, a great way to track them is put one of those self-adhesive thermometers on the outside of your fermenter. It can really help, and it'll fix up your brewing. The other thing that I'm doing, which will be a future video, is I'm going to pay more attention to my water. I'm actually going to see if I can't get me one of those RO systems strictly for brewing beer, so that I can actually set up the correct water profile for different beers. Because as it sits right now, I'm stuck with what comes out of my tap. I do nothing with my water. So I'm trying to improve my brewing process, just like everybody else out there. Well, I hope this was helpful. There you have it. This is S.J. Port, Little Face Brewing, enjoying the fruits of B's labor and drinking her beer that she brewed. Cheers, everybody.